Well, hello there, I'm Emrys from cruisehive.com. Well, are you ready for a massive cruise news update? We've got developments across all the big three lines, Disney Cruise Line, and some breaking cruise news. In this week's cruise news update, we've got coverage on the three largest cruise lines, including a Royal Caribbean ship being redeployed, last-minute itinerary changes from Norwegian Cruise Line, and how about a couple that has spent 1,000 days sailing with Carnival Cruise Line. Disney dominates the week with the new Disney Wish setting sail on her inaugural cruise and the cruise line increasing gratuities. There's also breaking cruise news with a Holland America cruise ship, which we will get into a little bit later on. Well, we've got plenty to catch up on, so your news update begins now. In the past week, Royal Caribbean International informed guests that Serenade of the Seas will not be heading to Europe for its summer deployment in 2023, citing increasing uncertainty on the situation in Ukraine and the possibility of calling in St. Petersburg, Russia. The cruise line has decided to keep Serenade of the Seas in the United States. The season consisted of cruises departing from Copenhagen, Denmark, and Stockholm, Sweden, including two transatlantic voyages from May 2023 through September 2023. These will now be replaced by a series of cruises from a home port in Florida. Which home port that would be is unclear and not yet announced. However, Serenade of the Seas is scheduled to sail from Tampa, Florida from October 2022 through March 2023. It could be that Royal Caribbean would keep Serenade of the Seas in Tampa. Makes sense, right? Guests who had booked one of the voyages in Europe or one of the transatlantic voyages can rebook to sail on board a different vessel in the same period. These include 4 transatlantic voyages. The cancellation of the summer season for Serenade of the Seas is the second time Royal Caribbean has decided not to sail to Russian ports. Earlier this year, Voyager of the Seas cruises were also cancelled. And we have all that coverage over on cruisehive.com. A cruise that for many would have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience has turned sour for those booked on an 11-night cruise to Greenland on board the Norwegian Star. For the cruise that departed on July 14th, Norwegian Cruise Line only informed guests of major changes to the itinerary the day before. On July 13th, the cruise line has decided to remove the calls to Greenland from the itinerary. Norwegian Star was scheduled to spend 2 days at sea in transit from Iceland to Greenland, with an intended arrival date of July 17th. However, a major storm is brewing in the North Atlantic and around the southern tip of Greenland. With wave heights expected to reach 18 to 20 feet, Norwegian Cruise Line does not feel the circumstances would be safe for the ship, crew, and guests. This means Norwegian Star will not make its intended calls to ports in Greenland on July 17th, 19th, and 20th. Instead, Norwegian Cruise Line has informed guests the vessel will be sailing from Reykjavik to Norway and will spend the time between July 17th and 20th in Norway. The ship will now arrive in Bergen, Norway on July 17th. Norwegian Star will return to Iceland on July 25th. Wow, a big change for the itinerary there. We do have all the specific ports on the revised sailing and all the compensation details for guests over on the website. The long-awaited, highly anticipated new vessel from Disney Cruise Line, Disney Wish, set sail on her inaugural voyage from Port Canaveral, Florida on Friday, July 15th, welcoming passengers for the very first time. The vessel is the first new ship for the cruise line in more than a decade and replaces Disney Dream at the Central Florida home port after the older vessel moved to Miami in early June. Disney Wish first arrived at Port Canaveral with great fanfare on Monday, June 20th. The ship was officially christened with a star-studded high-tech ceremony on July 2nd. Then, on July 13th, Disney Cruise Line and Port Canaveral representatives exchanged plaques to mark the inaugural sailing, a long-standing tradition whenever a new vessel officially begins sailing from a new home port or visits a new port of call for the first time. For more than a week, the vessel has been undergoing preparations for its first guests, including ensuring onboard cruise staffing was complete, stocking supplies, and continued training and other final details, as well as limited invitation-only media exposure. Disney Wish's first sailing is a 5-night itinerary visiting Nassau, as well as Disney Cruise Line's private island in the Bahamas, Castaway Cay. After the first sailing, the ship will begin offering 3 to 4 night cruises to the Bahamas. The 144,000 gross ton ship can welcome as many as 4,000 guests in 1,254 staterooms, with 1,555 crew members on hand to provide spectacular service and, of course, magical memories. Disney Cruise Line has slightly increased its recommended gratuity rates for select crew positions, which in total raises the gratuity rate by $1 per day per stateroom guest. The cruise line has also recommended an $8 per day per stateroom guest gratuity for the concierge lounge team, though this is not part of any automatic or prepaid gratuities to guests' accounts. The increase in gratuities brings the per passenger per day gratuity rate aboard Disney Cruise Line ships to $14.50 for most staterooms and $15.50 per passenger per day for concierge staterooms and suites, which includes the stateroom assistant host in the automatic or prepaid gratuities. So, broken down, the standard gratuities cover the 3 levels of dining room server, which is head server, assistant server, and server, as well as the stateroom host that cleans and services guests' cabins. The recommended daily gratuity for each of these positions has been increased by 25 cents per passenger per day. These gratuity changes took effect immediately aboard all Disney cruise ships, including the new Disney Wish. Robert and Nancy Hutchins of North Garden, Virginia, a small town 175 miles from the seasonal home port of Norfolk, recently reached their amazing milestone of 1,000 sailing days while on the Spirit Class Carnival Pride, their favorite ship in the fleet. To commemorate the occasion, Robert asked crew members to help arrange a surprise for his wife, and the momentousness of the achievement caught the attention of everyone on board. The couple was able to pose with numerals to mark their days at sea and celebrated with many of the crew members. After so many cruises, at least 15 aboard Carnival Pride, the couple considers Carnival crew members to be family. Oh, how nice is that? Because the Hutchins are so well known to the cruise line, they were invited to cut the ribbon as Carnival Pride returned to service in Baltimore on September 12, 2021, after the ship's pandemic-related operational pause. Carnival Pride is home-ported in Dover, UK for the summer, offering alternating 9 and 12-night sailings. The 9-night cruises visit a variety of ports throughout Norway, with phenomenal scenic cruises along the Norwegian fjords. You can't beat that. How about that? Do let us know about the cruises, the 1,000 sailing day milestone, in the comments below. And on to some breaking cruise news. Well, during an Alaska cruise on board Holland America Line's Westerdam, which sailed from Seattle on July 10th, the vessel suffered damage to its azibod propulsion system. The issues represented themselves while the ship was sailing through the Hubbard Glacier area and unable to sail at full speed. Before returning to Seattle, the cruise was scheduled to call on Juneau, Hubbard Bay, Sitka, Ketchikan and Victoria, British Columbia. However, due to the technical difficulties the vessel is experiencing, the ship calls to Ketchikan and Victoria have both been cancelled. To compensate guests for the disappointing experience of missing Ketchikan and Victoria, Holland America Line is offering guests compensation. Each guest on board will receive $100 of onboard credit, and Holland America Line will refund any payments made towards shore excursions in one of the two ports. Westerdam is expected to return to its home port of Seattle, Washington on July 17th. The cruise line has not made any announcements or informed future guests of any changes to the July 17th sailing at this time. Of course, this is still developing news. We will keep you updated on all the latest, of course, over on the website. Alright then, so those were just a handful of the stories from the past week. And yes, of course, it was a busy one as usual. We've got even more coverage over on cruisehive.com, including updated Bermuda protocols from Carnival Cruise Line, the US Coast Guard finally allowing a West Palm Beach cruise ship to set sail after a no-sail order was issued, damaged vehicles at a parking lot in Norfolk for Carnival Cruise passengers, new family spaces detailed for the new MSC Seascape cruise ship, Carnival staffing problems coming to an end, and the Norwegian Sun returns to service after hitting an iceberg in June. Plenty to catch up on for sure. Well, thanks ever so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you did find it informative at all, then please do feel free to like the video, and of course do subscribe to the Cruise Hive YouTube channel. I'm Emrys from cruisehive.com. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you all soon.